What's up guys, welcome to another video. Now in today's video we will be doing basically two videos in one. Because I got a small lot of phones at my internship that I go to every first day and Friday. Now, if you watched my previous video, which if you haven't, I will link that down below. So even if you watch this 10 years later, you can still watch that video too. So you won't have to search on my channel. I'll link that down below. I was incredibly sick, so I was only able to go there one day, which kind of sucks. But I was able to get quite a jackpot. But what I also want to show you is the current situation on the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge that I showed in the previous video. So let's get to that first. Now, first, for those who have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, basically, and I'll actually put this in a better story now, unlike the last video. I got a mint condition Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge with all its parts. It wasn't parts, but it had all of its parts. With one completely destroyed display and frame and a battery in it, and basically the previous owner switched to a new display with a new frame and possibly a new battery too. I think this battery was new when he got it, with the same motherboard and stuff. So basically he had an S7 Edge and the display broke, so they swapped around the frame and the probably the subboard too, because those are really hard to replace on the S7 Edge and S7 and display. So they basically swapped the frame, display and subboard, most likely the subboard too, to something new. But then the motherboard died, and I bought what I did is I bought a replacement now. So yeah, I'll go show you my S7 Edge. As you can see, it is still open and it's missing a camera because it doesn't have a rear camera, because the old motherboard, while I was trying to reball the old motherboard with my heat gun and getting it to trying to fix it, I accidentally melted the camera. So the camera is gone. That really sucks. But I didn't really care. So I bought a motherboard on AliExpress for 26 euros and it works completely fine. As you can see, it's all working. The always on display is working, but there's a issue with this phone that I created myself. So remember that I don't know if I talked about this in the previous video, but I removed the battery of this phone with a metal pry tool. Guess what that did? There's a black spot in the display. Yep, and not just that, it also has pretty bad touchscreen issues. Now, as you can see, this motherboard works completely fine. The reason why I didn't make a video on this earlier with, a working motherboard is due to this display issue, because I am not going to use this phone like this, and I'm not going to keep it like this. Now, as you can probably see, this does not run Samsung Experience. If we scroll all the way down, this runs Android 7. So this runs Grace UX TouchWiz, which is really cool. This brings back some really good memories for me with the Galaxy A3 2016 that I had for 4 freaking years. That also ran this exact OS. Now, what am I going to do next to restore this phone, you say? Well, I bought another Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge off Marketplace for 53 euros and 53 cents. Completely as good as new condition. New old stock, well, almost new old stock, was only used for 1 week. It had the swollen battery issue. So the phone does work. It's basically as good as new. I can't show you pictures because the advertorial is gone, because I bought it. It'll be here in 2 days. So I'll probably make a video in 2 days or something, or 3 days, depends on how much work I'll have to do. But yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with this motherboard now, because this entire S7 Edge is pretty much useless now. All I need is this battery. So how good is this battery? Well, it is surprisingly really freaking good still. If we go to the battery tab, we can see that this only has 393 cycles, and only 392 of that are not mine. I put 1 cycle on it because I of course battery health tested this thing. As you can see, the display is really gorgeous on this thing, but Yeah, it has touchscreen issues, and I'll show you that in a bit. But first, the most important part, which is the battery. That's all I will need from this device when I get my S7 Edge. It still has 85% of its original capacity, which is really freaking good. I'm gonna keep cycling this thing a couple times still, before Tuesday hits. I'll probably be able to cycle this thing a few times more and maybe hopefully get an even higher result. I don't think so, because it started with 86, now it's 85%, but that's still very, very much usable. So that's great, because that means that I will not have to get a new battery when I get my S7 Edge. I can just keep on using this original one, that is from the 30th of November 2016. So this is definitely not like a launch model battery. It's definitely a later one. It'll surprise you how long they make original batteries for their phones. So yeah, that's the current situation. It really sucks. I'll show you the touchscreen issues. It is my fault though, and I'll show you that it is my fault in a little bit. Touch. Look at this. I'm also recording on my OnePlus Nord instead of my S25G. Don't think y'all have noticed that, but yeah, as you can see, there are issues down the bottom. This entire part just doesn't work. I can use this phone, but the black spot is really annoying. It only has a little bit of burn-in at the top, but that's just super not noticeable, to be honest. But yeah, this does really suck, and this is my fault, and I cannot get out of here, so I'll have to reboot the phone. I cannot get out of the touchscreen test without completing the touchscreen test. But yeah, as you can see, this does work. This was, I think, a German motherboard, because it had German Vodafone bloatware on it. So this was probably from a SIM-locked Vodafone German model, which is very interesting because this came from China, of course. But yeah. Oh, now it's 89%. That's great. I need to drain this anyway. I absolutely love this wallpaper, and I absolutely love the edge display on this. This is definitely one of my favorite Samsungs of all time in terms of design. It looks so much better than its normal S7 counterpart, in my opinion. Would have definitely been worth the extra money, especially considering the huge battery capacity increase too. And I am an absolute battery life freak, so. But yeah, that's the current situation on the S7. It kind of sucks, but it could have been worse. I'm very glad that I found this deal on Marketplace. Really freaking lucky with that. I will only have to use this battery. And what I can also do is the seller said it had a couple scratches on the back glass. I have this back glass that came with this device. As you can see, there's not a single freaking scratch on there. It's absolutely mint. I cannot find a single scratch on there. I may as well just use this. So yeah. Also, the other battery that I mentioned, this is the original battery that came from the... oh, there's a screw on there. That came from the original frame and screen. This is dead. This is absolutely fucking dead. It says 30%, but it's absolutely dead. So dead that I cannot even get into the OS and look at the voltage and stuff. This is completely dead. I don't know if I can even regenerate this. I think this has a similar issue to my Galaxy A40. Which had a BMS issue, battery management system issue, which is a little PCB that sits here that, has a temperature sensor and over voltage protection and all that. Maybe that's broken on this. Maybe that's just completely dead on this. Which was the issue with my A40. It needed a battery replacement because the BMS was pretty much broken on that. But it does work. But yeah, that's the current situation on the S7 Edge. It kind of sucks. It does work, but there would have been no other way for me to find out. It could have been worse. It could have been a bigger waste of money. But once I get this device restored, I will absolutely use it a shit ton. As you can see, it does say start there, which is a Vodafone thing. But for now, I'll just keep on cycling this battery. And I really love having this on Android 7, I must say. I'm not going to reuse this motherboard in my S7 Edge that I'm going to get. I'm just going to use the motherboard that comes with that because, well, you don't know where this motherboard has been. And the one that I'm getting from Marketplace has probably even less wear on it than this. But I may keep this. I may as well just keep this motherboard. To be honest, I did pay 26 bucks for it. What I kind of wanted to do is I wanted to sell this phone to my friends back that gave me this. I want to sell it, as is, with the broken battery, the good back glass, and the screws that I got for my SH Plus, and all the other parts that I have in this little bin here, for 26 bucks, and so that I can at least get my money back from the motherboard. But oh well, I think I'm just going to keep it. I paid for it. It's good to have replacement parts laying around if I have an S7, because I will definitely use mine quite a bit. So yeah, but that's the S7 Edge situation. I will have to wait until Tuesday, between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. It's getting delivered here. So I'll probably make a video on that on Wednesday or something like that, which is in 3 days. So yeah, let's take a look now at the phone lot that I got at my internship. So the first phone is one that I wanted for a very long time, but have never ever saw in the wild, and this is not a rare phone at all. It's the infamous Samsung Galaxy S3. Now this is an absolute OG, 100% original Samsung Galaxy S3. No Neo, no Plus or whatever the crap, which we have in my country with the S4. It's super annoying, and I'll get back to that. This is an absolute original GTI 9300 S3. And I really, really wanted this phone. I already have an S1 and an S2. Actually, I have an S2 and an S2 Plus. My S2 has issues with custom ROMing. I cannot get it to custom ROM anymore. It's absolutely done with me. I'm not sure whether I'll keep this original or not. These seem to be quite rare. The only S3 that I've ever used for a bit was the S3 Neo that my best friend had, although it was heavily customized, and an S3 Neo from another one of my friends. I used that for a little bit, but I've never used an OG Exynos S3 like this. Now, it isn't in the best of condition. The display is mint. There's absolutely almost not a single scratch on the display. The front is amazing, but the frame doesn't look great. There are a few cracks in the frame, and the back cover looks like crap. In fact, there are little clips missing from the back, so I hope to get a better back cover, because this just looks awful. The battery also doesn't look great, but this is a very, very weird battery, because this is an original, but it's from the 9th month of 2014. Dude, I bet there were already S6 rumors coming out back then, and then they made a freaking S3 battery. That's weird. That is so weird. I have no idea whether this is original. It could be a replacement, but I bet that this is an original. And I absolutely love that freaking... That's my absolute favorite Samsung startup sound. This is also probably one of the oldest smartphones that I actually wanted to get. Along with the Note 2. I really want a working Note 2. I had a Note 2 with a dead motherboard from a friend. I tried so much to get that to work, but it couldn't do it anymore. It was so water damaged. It had Monster Energy spilled all over it, in case you're curious. It was completely dead. Also had a mint condition display and a really destroyed frame. But yeah, this works absolutely flawlessly. I love the nature-inspired stuff from the S3. I absolutely love the over-the-horizon that they made for the S3, which is on air as well. As you can see, they didn't delete that. I love pretty much everything about the S3. I've never used one. I don't have any nostalgic memories for it. But, you all know through the good era, right? I feel like this phone kind of marked the end of that. I'd say 2014 kind of marked the end of through the good era in phones. Like, this is peak. Look at this animation and stuff. And the icons. It looks so good. And it looks so nostalgic. I love it. I've never used an S3. I knew someone who did use an S3 back in 2019. But I've never had one myself, because these are rare here. These are very rare here. I also don't remember any carriers selling these. any carrier locked ones, unlike the S2, which was very popular on T-Mobile here. Um, so yeah, I have an S. I think I have an S1. Yeah, I have an S1. I have an S2, an S2 Plus, and I now have an S3 too. I also have a regular Galaxy S5 and an S5 Neo. I just don't have an S4, but I don't want an S4, except for the Exynos variant. And that's going back to my point here. These are so hard to get because there are too many variants. For the S3, there aren't that many variants, but the S4, there is this absolutely awful version. You got the original S4, which is, and I'll use my A40 for this, the classic i9500. Now, this is the original, the Exynos variant, with 2600 milliamp hour batteries, 14 megapixel camera, blah, blah, blah. This is the Exynos variant, right? Now, the only one that I can seem to find here, sorry, excuse me about that. The only one that I can seem to find in my country here is the stupid Snapdragon 600 version, which is absolutely horrible. Now, I'm not hating on the Snapdragon 600 here. I have a HTC One M7, which has the Snapdragon 600. It's fine. It has decent battery life. Performance is still alright, but this S4, the i9505 or Value Edition or Black Edition or whatever it was, I got one of these. I instantly gave it away to a friend too. I hate these. I absolutely hate these because these have absolutely horrendous battery drain issues to the point where they're almost unusable. They're fun to keep as a collection item, but that's it. They don't even have the nice S4 classic startup sound. They have this really crappy piano startup sound, which sounds cool, but you'd much rather have an original S4. It has slightly different TouchWiz software with different wallpapers, much different wallpapers from the original S4. They call it the Google Play Edition, which is weird. Well, there was a Google Play Edition, but they never sold Google Play Edition phones in my country, from what I can tell. But yeah, Value Edition is the i9515, not the i9505. But yeah, this sucks. I really want an Exynos variant, but the only one that I can seem to get is that one. It has horrendous battery issues. It doesn't have that well. It does have custom ROM support, but not that much. And it just sucks. It genuinely just sucks. So that's why I'm really happy with this, and I don't actually know what to do with this S3. I can try custom ROMs and then flashing it stock again, but the ringtones on this are also so nice. I kind of just want to use this as a secondary alarm clock, for when I hesitate to get out of bed. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with this apart from get a better back cover, but I love this. This is the original S3 with the original color, the original nice blue color, all the nature stuff. I love it. And like I said, going back to that Frutiger Arrow thing, I kind of feel like this marked the end of Frutiger Arrow in phones. Most people feel like it went from the mid 2000s to like early 2010 or something. I feel like it went on for longer, and I feel like this is one of the phones that proves that it went on for longer through 2012 at least. I feel like it kind of ended with Android 5.1 Lollipop TouchWiz on the S5 and later Marshmallow 6.0.2.1 sorry, on the S5. I feel like they kind of scrapped almost all of the Frutiger Arrow looking stuff from TouchWiz, and by the time Samsung did their Grace UX redesign on TouchWiz on 6.0.1 and 7.0 Android, I feel like they just fully scrapped all of it. Just like LG, I had my V10 with Android 5.1.1 and I loved it, and now I updated it to Android 7.0 and it's crap. I don't want to use it anymore. It looks horrible. It's there's no pop. It doesn't pop anymore. The colors and stuff. It sucks now. It's just sucky software. It's like LG UX something, but I don't like it. So yeah, and that's why I really love the S3. But anyways, yep, that's a Samsung Galaxy S3. Definitely going to keep this. Not going to give this away. But I'm unsure what I want to do with this yet, apart from get a better back cover. So let's move on to the next one. So going completely different for a little bit, here is the second phone. Now this is something new for my collection. This is an Oppo device. Yeah, and it works. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Now this, if it will let me, yeah, it's an Oppo A5 2020. Yeah, I've never had an Oppo device in my life, ever. I have my OnePlus, which I'm recording on right now, which is the Note 4. That's my main. But I've never had an Oppo, ever. I've seen people use them. I think their budget devices are pretty crap. I have to say, their A series, it sucks. Now, this is one of the earlier ones. This runs Android 10 based on ColorOS 7. I said that the wrong way around. This runs ColorOS 7 based on Android 10. And it sucks. This has a Snapdragon 665 in it. Yeah, this Snapdragon is not, it ain't it, chief. I benchmarked this thing a lot because I also did battery health tests on this, and the battery in this thing is absolutely insane. It sucks. This is worse than a freaking S7 Edge. Like, I tested my S7 Edge against this, and I also tested my S8 Plus Snapdragon against this, and they both absolutely smacked them out of the window. And this is a 2020 device. By that time, an S7 was 4 years old, and an S8 was 3 years old. So those are both, upgrade numbers. So yeah, in terms of performance, I'm not happy with this. This sucks. This really sucks. I hope I could custom ROM this. I really hope so. I hate ColorOS 7. I don't like the way it looks. It's not the worst, I must say. I just don't like it. And it's very much not smooth. There are also a lot of sounds in this phone that are literally exactly the same as on my OnePlus, which is very embarrassing, honestly. It does go to show that they kind of just, merged together, and ColorOS kind of became OxygenOS. But I kind of refuse to get angry at that, because they're so good UIs. They're so smooth. They're pretty much unbeatable in terms of smoothness, especially with One UI and stuff being so bloaty. But yeah, this does work. It is an A5 2020 with a absolutely horrific 720p display. This is the 3 gig RAM, 64 gig option, which is sad. I would have liked to have the 4 gig option, but it's a completely free phone. As you can see, it did come with a screen protector, but it's not in the best of shape. But I'm gonna keep it on, because otherwise I'll feel bad. 12 megapixel camera, along with an 8 megapixel ultra wide and 2 absolutely horribly useless 2 megapixel depth sensors, which I hate. I really don't understand why people hate so hard on macro cameras when depth sensors are at least twice as useless, at least to me. Now, one good thing about this device is the battery life. The battery life is absolutely insane. Now, again, I don't fully know what to do with this. I did do a battery health test. It's 90%, absolutely amazing. Goes to show that this wasn't used that much. I don't know whether this was used in a case or not, because it just looked really scratched up. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this, other than maybe custom ROM it. I may, trade this with a friend, and get a Z Fold 3 with a broken inner display. It's really smashed, but the front display works completely flawlessly. And I might trade this for that, but I'm not sure, man. This thing is so slow and crap. I would love to custom ROM this. But I don't think there are any custom ROMs, let alone twerp, for this device. So yeah, that's an Oppo A5 2020. I was going to say 2017, but no. A5 2020. Let's move on to the next device. So next up is a regular Samsung Galaxy S7 in white. Yeah, I also found this in the same bin. No, this isn't in that great of a condition. I had a gold with black S7 for a little bit. That was given to me as a birthday gift, but I ended up wrecking the charging port. And if you don't know, if you want to replace the charging port on an S7, you gotta remove the entire display, which absolutely fucking sucks. And I never knew that, because on the S8 you don't have to. On the S8 you can just take out the subboard along with the rest, but on the S7 you have to take out the entire display because of these buttons. So that absolutely fucking sucks. But yeah, it is pretty destroyed, but you don't really feel that. I have to say, you don't really feel this. And it's also much nicer without a case. Now, this is probably the rarest color, along with the pink color. I really like it, to be honest. Now, this thing isn't in the best of condition. It does have some paint issues there and there, but there are no cracks along the display. There are no display issues with this thing. I fully updated this thing. It was on March 2020 patch, which means this was used up until at least that point. The vibration motor is not in the best condition. It sounds kind of bad. But there are no display issues. It does have some slight burn-in at the top right there, as you can see. And there's very slight keyboard burn-in, but it's absolutely not noticeable at all while using this device. And the AMOLED in general is still pretty good. It's just kind of used. Now, the battery on this one is not so great. I've had 3 S7s so far. This one is medium. So this had 1084 cycles when I got it, which is not great. And I also charged this to 100% and it already dropped 3%. I already charged it to 100% before I got this. I did another battery health tests. 78, 87%, 78, whatever. Not the worst. I had a black S8 with a much more destroyed screen. Sorry about that. I had a S7 from another friend for a little bit with a much more destroyed screen in black. But it had a mint condition back cover, back glass. It had 1600 battery cycles on it. Absolutely insane. It's the most I've seen to this day. It's absolutely crazy. Now that thing died really quickly too. It started with like 66%, 65% health. And as I cycled it, it gradually went up until like 69%, 70% or something. So that thing was tired. It absolutely needed a replacement. Now this thing, you could use it for a while, but I'd also recommend a battery change on this one. On a custom ROM, it would be a lot better because battery life stock on the normal S7 is not good. Battery life on the S7 stock is just not good. It just isn't. It drains really quickly. Unlike the S7 Edge, which my S7 Edge actually lasts quite a damn long time, I must say. There's a huge difference between those two these days in terms of battery life, which is kind of sad because the normal S7 is not that rare in my country. Unlike the S7 Edge, which I rarely see here. But yeah, that's Samsung Galaxy S7. Again, not 100% sure what to do with this. I would probably not trade this for my friend's broken Z Fold, as I genuinely do like this device, and it's genuinely still good, and it is better than the crappy Oppo, which is funny. It has a better camera, it has pretty much the same CPU power, it has more GPU power, so yeah. But yeah, that's it. A white Samsung Galaxy S7. Let's move on to the next device. Now I'm saving the best for last here. So let's go to this device first. You know, I have some HTCs, right? I have a One M7 in black, which is modded. You know, I did a thermal paste mod on that. I have a HTC One M8 in really great condition, except it has some touchscreen issues. And I also have a HTC One M8s with an absolute wrecked battery. But I really wanted an M9, but have never been able to get one because they're rare in my country. Guess what I got? A HTC One M9, but not a normal M9, sadly. This is what I hate so much with. This is exactly the same thing that I hate so much with the S4 and the S3, because there's so many Neos out there. This is a HTC One M9 Supreme Camera Edition. Don't know what they're so supreme about it. It kind of sucks. Well, the phone itself doesn't suck. It just sucks that it is this variant. Now, this does work completely fine. This, of course, has the MediaTek Helio X10 in it instead of the Snapdragon 810, which had overheating issues. Which is also the reason why the LG G4 had a 808 and the V10 also had an 808 and not an 810. In case you're curious. But this works completely fine. It came with this absolutely gross case, but I'm absolutely going to keep it because I'm not gonna find a case for this again. Now I pretty much can't find custom ROMs for this and custom recoveries or twerp or whatever, which sucks because this is still a decent device and it does have plenty of power still. So this will have to be stuck on Android 6, which really sucks. Because this is a MediaTek HTC. That's really weird. HTC has always been Snapdragon and stuff, you know. Only the low-end devices get MediaTek. But no, this was MediaTek's flagship chipset at the time. So I'd love to check it out and see how it performs these days. But I can't. Because there's not that much you can do on Android 6. But yeah, this does work completely fine. It sucks that I can't get custom ROMs for this. I've also kind of just forgotten how to put custom ROMs on HTCs. I do have a custom ROM on my I have a custom ROM on my M8, M8S, and M7. Sorry. So none of them are stock anymore, because otherwise they're just not usable if I keep them stock. But I'd love to throw a custom ROM on here, but I just can't. There are plenty for the M9, but not for the M9 Supreme Camera Edition, which really sucks. If you know more about this, you know, if you know where I can get twerp for this or custom ROM, please let me know down in the comments. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, for now, this is just going to be a collection item. I'll look more into this someday. But for now, it just stays the way it is, and this device is completely fine. So yeah, HTC One M9 Supreme Camera. Let's move on to the next device. Now these are the last two in this lot, and by far the most special. Yeah, this looks quite interesting, doesn't it? The orange color. These, and I found these the last 30 minutes that I was there. I found these in a fucking Ziploc bag. These are Fairphone 2s. Yep, these are Fairphones. These are really cool. I have never really wanted to get one of these because I thought that they just never sold here. Despite that, where I live is literally close to where they freaking manufacture these. But yeah, these are Fairphone 2s. Sadly not the free, but hey, these were completely fine. And well, they work. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these. Well, there was something wrong with both of them when I had them. This one runs Ubuntu Touch, so this one is modded. This blue one, really weird. Yeah, this runs Ubuntu. I'm not going to change that because that's rare. That's really rare. Some of you probably have no idea what a Fairphone 2 even is, so I do have device info hardware on here. Basically, Fairphone is a Dutch manufacturer of phones that try to save the environment. For example, this back is completely made out of recycled plastic. It says it right there. Made with recycled plastics. So yeah, this phone tries to be good for the environment and modular basically and completely replaceable. I'll show you that in a bit. Display is not liking my camera, but yeah, it's also known as the Fairphone FP2. It actually does have decent specs, which you wouldn't really expect for this. This runs Ubuntu Touch, as you can see. Boom. Would love to try some Linux software on there. This has a Snapdragon 801, and it's not the overclocked 2.4 GHz variant that's in the S5. This is the stock 2.2 GHz variant that's used in the LG G2. So this used 3-year-old hardware basically when it came out. But yeah, this is completely stock Android 6.0 Marshmallow. It has a 1080p display. Not sure whether it's TFT or IPS, but it looks decent. It does have a little spot here. 2 gigs of RAM. Lots of that stuff is free, of course, because this is completely stock Android. I'll show you in a bit. 8 megapixel OmniVision back camera. And I think the front camera is 2 megapixels, but I'm not sure. And it has a 2420 mAh battery that is not so great. One of these has a replacement, an official replacement battery, I think. But this one is original. It also says one of the first 17,418. I'm not even sure if that's true. pretty much all of these that I see online have that on them. So maybe there were only 17,000 of these made. I'm not going to give these away for anything. I'm absolutely going to keep these as collector's item. As you can see, this is completely stock. There's not a single bit of bloat on here, apart from maybe the updater, if you really want to call that bloatware. But this is completely stock. There's absolutely nothing weird on here. 32 gigs of storage as well, by the way, which is pretty nice. You can get custom ROMs on this. Oh my god, sorry. My throat thought it was time to fuck itself. You can... Jesus fucking Christ, take 3. You can get custom ROMs on here, but I haven't been able to flash twerp because I've been having driver issues. Because you need to put these in fastboot, and then fastboot has to flash the custom recovery. Which I know how that goes, and I know how to do that. I've done it before. I've done it before on my S10, I think, when I put CR recovery on there. But it just doesn't want to budge. Every driver that I throw at my computer, it keeps on not recognizing this thing. So, yeah, I'm not sure what to do with these either. I really wanted to throw a custom ROM on here, see how that 801 in here performs on a more recent version of Android, like Android 10. I know it can run Android 10 and 9. I know there are ROMs for that, which is really cool. I'd absolutely love to see how the 801 performs in here. It is a really good CPU. But yeah, I cannot seem to get it to work. Maybe I'll try on a different computer. But for now, yeah, I don't really know what to do with these. Again, I'm waiting on my S7 Edge to arrive. I'm definitely gonna work on that thing first, because I want to make that my night phone and possibly my music phone too. So it's going to see a lot of use. I want to get the perfect custom ROM on there. You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, I will try to look into this. It does have a dedicated camera button. The camera does work. Now, like I said, these did have issues when I got them. These were not perfect. Now, the orange one didn't want to charge. It had charging port issues. The blue one, the battery was dead. This has, I think, a replacement. And I think this replacement is quite crap. It says FP2 DAT on it. I think it's a replacement. And I think this has... See, it's already rebooting. And I think this has a replacement LCD. But I could be wrong. And now it's constantly rebooting. This still has issues. This didn't want to boot because the battery was dead. And with the charged battery from this one in here, it didn't want to boot either. It just didn't do anything when you press the power button. Now, eventually, I did get it to work. But this still has issues that it keeps restarting and stuff. So this probably has motherboard issues. Now, taking these apart is really fun. I'm not going to show you how to do it. Because the power button on this is bad. The power button on this doesn't want to, you know, it works now, but the button, this plastic piece, if it falls out, it's pretty much impossible to get back in. So yeah, but that's it. 2 Fairphone FP2s, really cool devices. Would love to throw custom ROMs on them. I'm definitely gonna look into the issue with this one. But yeah, I was able to fix the charging port issue with this. This basically has a ton of missing screws inside, whereas this one has all of its screws, but motherboard issues, and this battery is quite bad. So yeah, but I'm not going to complain. 2 free Fairphone 2s. Battery critical. 0 charge remaining. See, that's what I mean. The battery in this is really bad, which is funny because it says it has a label on it as if it's like a replacement. But yeah, I love this orange one. I'm not going to trade these for anything. Like I said, these are definitely going to be kept as collector's items. Replacing the display and stuff on these is an absolute breeze because these were made to be repairable phones. No ribbon cables involved. So yeah, but that's it. 2 Fairphone 2s. Let me know what you think of these in the comments. If you know anything about these, please share it with me. I freaking love these devices. I've never been able to mess with them. I would love to get a Fairphone 3 or something. But they seem to just not sell here at all because people don't care. People get S25s and stuff. Even though those are no upgrades either. But yeah, those are all the devices. And I'll show you them. The S3, the Oppo A5 2020. I'll turn them all on for you. There you go. Oh, this one is dead. The Fairphone needs to charge. Oh, there you go. The S3, the Oppo, the HTC, which I've already shut down, the M9 Supreme Cam, and the S7, which is probably my favorite out of this entire lot. Well, I really like the S3 and the M9 as well, and the Fairphones. The one that I kind of just don't like is the Oppo, because it's crap. It has crap specs. It's worse than a 2016 S7 and an S8. So, yeah. But yeah, let me know what you think of these devices. Let me know which one is your favorite. And if you know anything about the Fairphones or how to, root or custom ROM the Oppo, please let me know. Don't hesitate. I would love to know more about these. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see you all in the next one.